Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back. It's Thursday. Well, that's right. It's content day. Anyways, it's a beautiful day here in the Gem City. It's nice and mild. Gentle breeze. Not many clouds at all. It's just a great day. So I hope you guys enjoyed the last video. I think we had a lot of fun out here in the Time Cave with our visitor. That would be Dave. And also a little cameo by John Chittum. I'm going to see if I can talk John into showing us his collection. He's got a fantastic collection of antique lanterns. And he's a cool guy. Really neat. And if he gets over his camera shy, that'll be great. But yeah, that's why he wasn't in the videos. He was a little shy. And I understand that. Not everybody's comfortable in front of the camera. But Dave seemed to be very comfortable in front of the camera. And he had a lot of fun stuff to share. It was pretty fun. I had a great time. So shout out to Dave. Thanks again. Maybe we'll do it again soon. Next time you're down through here. Let's plan on that. Anyways, we had a great weekend. The lady and I, we went to the Huff-A-Rama car show out there in San Bernardino. And that's every year, every October. And drove the old Dodge all the way out there. And we had a consist of the club. And it was the president and our, his son, and then the other club brother. That was Eli, and then my car. And we got out there, good time, got a real good spot in line before the gates opened. And we set up and just had a wonderful time. We barbecued some hot links and had some good food and some good beer too. And great conversations. And that was very memorable. Very memorable, and I'm happy to say that my wonderful lady really enjoyed all of it. She was just in there, and she was walking around and getting pictures and talking to people, and it was fantastic. She had a lovely time, and she thanked me greatly for that. And I'm like, of course, it was really fun having her along for that. And yeah, absolutely. So yeah. She's looking forward to doing Moon Eyes now. So we're like, okay, let's do Moon Eyes. Okay, and that's going to be happening in December. And yeah, Moon Eyes. It was a sad thing to see go away at the Speedway down in, Irwindale there. And it's no longer there. The Irwindale Speedway is gone. It's becoming warehouses, as so many people have been putting up in commercial areas, taking up empty space and putting up warehouses. Yeah, that is a rant. I don't like it. I don't know why we need so many hot dang warehouses, but yeah, anyways. But the Moon Eyes car show is coming back. It's going to be in Pomona at the fairgrounds. So we're planning to go as a club, and yeah, might have my co-pilot back. That'd be great. Anyhow, fun things ahead and fun things already now behind us. But always look at the fun things ahead. Absolutely. But savor and remember all the good things. That's important. Now, we're going to be doing a video today about where to start. Now, I had a question or a comment left on the channel, one of the previous videos about maybe making a video about where to start in collecting antique lanterns, what to buy and what to look for, and how much money should one invest when they're just getting into collecting antique lanterns. Now, that's a very good question, and I do have answers for you. That's right. And I'm going to just show you a few lanterns that I would say or suggest would be good ones to pick up as a beginner. That's right. So I know for sure when I was young and I started wanting to buy antique lanterns, I bought kind of whatever I could find. And the very first lantern I bought was a little winged wheel, a little yellow one. Yeah, it was a number 250 or 350 or whatever it is. I forget the number, but I shared it on the channel recently, not too long ago. Finally lit it for the first time. I know. I never lit that lantern. Never did. Nope. Now I finally lit it. That was a special video. But anyways, that was the first one. I paid, I think, $5 for it. That was back in the late 1980s. But, yeah, I've bought a Streamline Dietz Monarch and a few little lanterns here and there, and through the early 2000s, I picked up some Dietz Hyos, here, at thrift stores or swap meets, and anywhere from say $5 to $20. That was kind of going rate for a Dietz Hyo. But I would say, speaking of the Hyo, I'd say that would be definitely a lantern worth picking up as a first lantern. Now, most of you guys go to antique stores or swap meets or flea markets, and you see a lot of things, and sometimes you'll see a lantern, and chances are they're going to be a streamlined lantern from the late 30s through the early 40s or early 50s, made by Dietz or Embry. Dietz lanterns seem to be pretty common because they made a lot of them. And a lot of the streamlined lanterns, especially the Monarch, seems to surface, and though they're out there plenty, especially the 50s and early 60s examples that just are just about everywhere you look. And they're great burners. They're not bad lanterns. If you like the style, fantastic. I don't mind a streamlined lantern, but for whatever reason, the streamlined Monarch it just doesn't really strike. I don't know. There's just something about it that, I don't know. I have hang-ups about it. I don't hate it. I have one. I've had it since, the late 80s, but it's not something I burn all the time or that I share all the time. I see them in so many Western shows from the 50s and 60s and, 70s, and it's just kind of funny because it's like the most modern kerosene lantern you could possibly use. But, but anyway, yeah, the Monarchs, they're out there. There are plenty of them, but so are the Hylos. And I think the Hyo is definitely a little more collectible. Now, granted, they're very common. They're out there. They're not hard to find. But I think this has a more of an antique look, more antique style about it, personally speaking. But the Hyo is a fun design. It has a pinch lift like this, Very easy to use. I'll show you. I'll demonstrate. Allow me to demonstrate. So, turn up the wick a little bit. And you can hold it with one hand. So if you hold it with your palm and, your pointer finger there, and you got your pointer up here and your middle finger here, and you get your thumb right here, then you can lift it. See, I'm slipping. If I turn it like this, then you can see it like that. See? Just like that. Just hold it like that. And you can hold it with one hand, and then you get one of these strike anywhere matches, and you stick it in there. No, I thought I turned the wick up. There we go. And then, there you go. So it's actually pretty easy. Just a little practice is all. But yeah, you can do it like that. Very easy to use. You don't have to use a crank. And you're off to the races. Now, where do you find a Dietz Hyo? Well, geez, where do I start? See them on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, often. OfferUp, swap meets, flea markets, antique stores at any given time, and eBay. Now, if you want to use eBay, then you can definitely search Dietz Hyo, and you'll find at least one or two pages of Dietz Hyo lanterns for sale, from anywhere from starting bids of $5 to $75, whatever. People will ask what they feel they want for any particular piece. Now, maybe I'll drop this one in here. I'm going to share a lantern with you on eBay currently. Now, we have talked about inflated prices and asking prices once in a video of earlier this year. And that would be this one. Put it right here. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. There's nothing special about this Hyo, but the price. $400. I don't know what to say about that, but anyways, folks, don't buy it. Don't ever. No, they're not worth that much money at all. I've found Hylos at swap meets for as cheap as $5, and some people still do liberate them for $5 at any given swap or flea market. That's right. That's right. But this one, this one's marked for the city of LA, and I burn this one often. I love this particular lantern. This is a great Hyo, but unmarked, just says made in New York, USA, or just New York, USA. Dietz Hyo from the 40s. This is from 1940. This pattern, this generation of Hyo came out in the in the 20s. The globe guard changed after 1930. But this style of high-low is very common with this crossed Y style globe guard, and it was made all the way till 1947, exactly like this. So there's plenty of them out there. You can find them either painted or unpainted or rusty or whatever, and you can have a project and you can get them working, and they're actually very easy to get working. They burn great. I found some that had some subtly collapsed or dented air tubes, and they still burn fine. They were designed to be rugged. They were designed to be very rugged and beat up, but still perform and do the job that they were designed to do. That's the beauty about the high-lows, because it was designed to be very durable and very, functional. And in any kind of circumstances, they were designed to be put out for a work site or a construction site, and a road closure, bridge out, whatever, and burn all night. And, that's why they had some with the large square fount, so they could burn for 8 days or longer sometimes. So, yeah, depending on how long the job was, they would, the lantern tender would go out there and refill them and trim the wicks and replace a wick or replace a globe when it would crack or whatever. And then they get them going again. And now they say, I have just, blinky flasher lights that are battery powered. That's what they'd use now. But back in these days, they used kerosene, and that they could burn for, anywhere from 10 to 20 hours, give or take, or, larger capacity, definitely several days. But anyhow, this is kind of where I would start. If you're looking for a hot blast at a very affordable price, get one of these. Get a high-low. That's right. Get a Dietz Hyo, and you will be very happy. They burn great, and you can have something to play with. Now, if you want a cold blast, you want an earlier cold blast, not like a Streamline Blizzard or D-Light or something like that, or a Little Wizard, which are fine. Those are great lanterns. They burn wonderfully. But if you want something early 1900s, that's easy to find, CT Ham. A number 2 CT Ham cold blast is definitely out there. I've had several of these. This is the one I really like the best that I've decided to keep. Now the other ones, 1900 to 1910, they turn up ever so often. There's a couple on Facebook Marketplace right now, I think, and they're not too expensive. They're under $100. I bought this one and its counterpart, the number 1 size cold blast CT Ham. It's exactly like this, but with a smaller burner. This is a number 2 size burner. The other one this was a 7/8 wick, and then the other one's a 5/8 wick. But yeah, so I have companion pieces, and this is why I kept this one, is because I have the number 1 that matches, and I got both lanterns from John Chittum. But I've sold several examples of these over the years, and they all burn great. They all are very easy to maintain, and they're just handsome cold blasts. I just love the style. And this double-walled baffle, vented baffle, the CT Ham patented baffle there, very nice design. And you have this nicely styled crown with the little loop, the finger loop for lifting the chimney up to remove the globe. Don't ever hang a lantern from this. This is not a hanging point. This is spring-loaded. That's right, it's spring-loaded to keep tension on the globe, but you use this to pull the chimney up to remove the globe for servicing. But anyways, always use the bail. Anyways, a cold blast outside lift, you can find these relatively easily on eBay or sometimes swap meets or antique stores for a reasonable price. I have bought several of these at any given time for under $50. So definitely keep your eyes out for an earlier CT Ham cold blast. They're great lanterns and they're handsomely designed. I can't stress this enough. I love these things. It's kind of the cold blast I usually reach for in the more common category. So yeah, if you're looking to spend, more than $50, you can find a good one. Now, of course, if it has a globe like this, though, a flashed Ham's cold blast matchless globe from the early 1900s, you're going to pay a lot more. Just what it is. But I got lucky and I have a few nice things. Now, you could always be one to search for the deals. They're out there. They can be had. Don't get me wrong. They are out there. You will find deals if you know where to look and if you're patient. But if you want something right now to, just have something to burn and enjoy, and price is whatever. If you are on the frugal side, you definitely, these two already are kind of where you want to start without too much of an investment. Now the third one I want to share is if you want a square tube lantern, you want something early, pre-1900, then a early model Dietz Victor would definitely be a good candidate to find. Now this one's from 1898. It's got the crosswire guards with the little clip. So this is, we're getting a little more obscure. However, not too much. They made a lot of these, and they do surface. Now this, of course, is with the arched Dietz 98 globe. All this whole kit is worth a fair amount of money. I would say over $100 easily. Probably 125, 175 just for this one here, because it's original condition, never been touched, it's never been restored. It's in great example survival, and it has a good globe. And the globe is worth $80 to $100 as it is. But, you find one without a globe, you can definitely find another hot blast style number O globe for it, and you can pay probably $40 to $50 for a decent frame, or that with the glass that's not marked. So I'd say, anywhere from $40 to $70 for a Dietz square tube Victor prior to 1900. You can find post 1900 Dietz Victors from anywhere from $25 to $50, give or take who's selling it, or if it's online, all different variables. So yeah, this Victor is a nice one. I got it from a collector, and I don't know, I didn't spend too much money. But yeah, so these would definitely be your first lanterns you would want to try and find at a reasonable price point. Now, getting back to it, if you want something just to burn and enjoy late at night or in the evening, and as the sun goes down on your deck, or even in your home, hot blast is always going to be a good choice because they don't fume as much as cold blast do. But the Dietz Hyo is very plentiful. There's a lot of them out there, and I have to keep myself from buying them because I kind of have an attraction to the Dietz Hyo because it's just a handsomely designed lantern. It's very simplistic. I've had different generations. I had a square tube one at once, sold it to Kyle Pagonis, and I had an earlier 1910s version with the smooth tubes, and the wire guards. Yeah, it's great. Cool lantern. I love those things. But this generation of Dietz Hyo, from the 30s and 40s, I don't know what it is, but I just love them. I think maybe because I've seen so many of them growing up at like theme parks and Northwoods Inn and other Western themed attractions. The Hyo is very common, as well as the Dietz Monarch. But this thing is just awesome, and they're not expensive. If you find one that's unmarked for a utility or a contractor, then you're going to be paying, like I said, anywhere to $5 to $25, $30 in decent condition. Sometimes you'll find them heavily painted, and you can always strip the paint off if you don't like it, and you can have something to kind of clean up and fix if you wish, and get it going and get it burning. And most of the Hylos I've had work great right out of the store. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you'll find them with pitted condition or holes in the fount and all this stuff, and you can seal them up. And I've seen people do some extensive repair to a fount that most people would just throw the whole thing away, but they want to get it going again, and they accept the challenge. But yeah, the Hyo is one of my favorites. And I would say, if you really want to get into this world and try out tubular kerosene lanterns, this would be my pick. I would definitely suggest getting a Hyo and see what it's all about. Yeah, they're fun lanterns, and they're easy to use, and they burn great. They're just enjoyable, and I think they're handsome, of course. So yeah, Dietz Hyo would definitely be the number one economical choice to find, to test, if you are going to enjoy this hobby as much as some of us do. So with that being said, I hope that answers your questions. I hope that really, addressed your curiosity. So those beginners out there, if you don't have a high-low, and you don't have a lantern in general, or a kerosene lantern for that matter, get a high-low. Find one. They're easy to get. You know, I think you'd still be good in the $50 range. Some of these things are getting more expensive as the days go on and the years progress. But yeah, you can easily find a Dietz Hyo for under $50 in most cases, and you won't be sorry. You get that thing and put a new wick in it or whatever, and just fuel it up and see what you think. Hey, go outside and have a beer or something, or a soda, and enjoy the nightfall. I love lighting these at dusk and sitting out there and hearing the crickets chirp and enjoying a nice spirit or something like that. Yeah, it's not hard. It's not a bad thing, for sure. Well, that being said, thanks again for tuning in once again. This is your host, Rayo Rob 17, wishing you a great weekend and a great rest of your week. And we'll see you again in a week's time. See ya.
Sit, boo boo, sit. Good dog.